This is an introduction to the online selection panel process. Each selection panel member will be sent their login details when entries close on February the 13th. You'll be sent a web address and a username and password. So you'll just go to that website and enter your username and password and click login. Once you're logged in, you'll see the panel members homepage with several options for how you can view the entries. So we're going to look at the first one, which is scroll and vote. So this is where you can click through to start scrolling through the entries, starting with the first entry. And at the bottom of each entry, there'll be a space for you to tick yes, no, or maybe for each one. So we'll click on scroll and vote. You'll see that the link to scroll and vote is also at the top of the screen. So this brings you into the first entry. You'll see that there's an image. The entrants have the option to submit 1 or 2 images for you to view. When you click on the image, it will enlarge so that you can view it in more detail. Next to the image is the artwork title, followed by the artist's name, followed by the artist's statement, the medium, the dimensions of the artwork, and then a link to their single page CV. So you can click on that and view it in a new window. Then you can scroll down to the bottom of the screen and you'll see that this is where you can say yes, maybe, or no for each artwork. It's got the 3 judges' names there, and this testing area will be removed. So you will be able to see what the other judges what their opinion was on that artwork as well, so that will facilitate discussion process. So if you are undecided about the artwork, you can tick maybe. If it's a definite one for you to be in the final, you can click yes, and then don't forget to click submit, because then that will hold your decision in there. It is possible for you to accidentally click one of the other judges' decision buttons, so do be careful to only click your own and just double check. So once you've viewed this entry, at the top of the page you can click to scroll through to the next entry. So that's why this one's the scroll and vote. So this is just a test data that I've put in. So you can go through to each entry and it's the same process. Register your vote, you can view it, and once it's opened you can click, there's an X down the bottom right hand corner that you can click to close the enlarged image, or you can just click in the grey section around the edge and that will close it and bring you back to that entry. So that's scroll and vote. So it just takes you through from the start to the finish. So if we go back to home, another way of looking at the entries is I've created an entry grid. So we click on this one. So this one's got 10 to a page, which makes it a little bit easier if you've already been through maybe the first 30 or 40 entries and you don't want to have to go right back to the start again, which is what would happen with the click and scroll. You can go to the pagination at the bottom. So if I go to page 4, then that will be entry number 40 onwards. And then if you say, okay, you were up to, say, for instance, this entry, you can click on it to view the image enlarged. Or if you click on the title of the artwork, it brings you back into that click and scroll so you can continue going through in a linear fashion, entry by entry. And it's helpful if you think that you want to go back to a certain entry and it's just faster to find it through using this way. So going back to the home, there's also, you can search. So if we go to filter option, if you're looking for a particular artist's name, so this is just by their last name, so you can go to that artist and click search, and you can see there's the artwork, and you'll be able to see if the other judges have said yes, no or maybe to that artwork, and it's got the artist's name, the medium, the state they're from. If you click on the image, it takes you back to their entry again so that you can look at the actual entry, you can cast your vote, see the CV and have all that information. You can also, so just after you've done a search, it's important that you click the reset button, so that removes that previous search that you did. And you can see under here, if I click, so you've got the 3 selection panel members, and if you were wondering like how many you've clicked yes to, for example, you can go under your name and say I've clicked how many I've said yes to, click search, and then it lists all the ones that are under your name that you've clicked yes to, so that just helps you keep a bit more track of yes, your no's and your maybes. Once again, you can click to go into the entry from here and change your, or just check your the details that way. The other option here is artwork medium. So if you're wondering whether you've got, for instance, if you're looking at space in the exhibition gallery, you may need to know like how many sculptures you've got. So if you go search for sculpture, then under medium it says sculpture, so you can see all the entries that were a sculpture. So that may help you in terms of balancing out the exhibition or making sure that things will fit in the space that's provided. And remembering to click reset so that it returns to the default. Okay, so that's going back to home. So that was the filtering, searching. Then this last one here is a finalist list. So if I click on that one, this will show all of the entries that have been selected as a yes from all 3 selectors. And once again, you can do that selecting by the medium, and also if you're just interested to know how many people from each state, you can also select the states. When I click, if you'll notice here, see where it says state, and I click the drop down list that only says NT, and that's so it will only register what's here. So I've only got one entry that I've, for an example, put yes, yes, yes to for the 3 selectors, and I've put the address in as NT. So that's why there's only NT available to be selected. But if you had set, for instance, another one where everyone had selected yes and it was from New South Wales, you could select the NT or the New South Wales entries, and that's the same with the medium. So if you haven't said yes, yes, yes to any paintings, then painting won't be available in this drop down list. So if we go back to home, the most important thing is to make sure that you've actually voted for each of the entries and submitted. Remember to click submit at the bottom after you've made your selection. And I think that's all that I need to show you. What I'm going to do is I've got a few more weeks where I can build a bit more diversity into the selection process. So I've just been playing around under alternative views. So just a few different ways, like if you're looking through, because there will be a lot of entries. At the moment there's just over about 100, but in the past we've had the majority of entries come in the last few weeks, and in the past it's been around the 500 mark. So that's why I just thought it might be easier to put a few different ways of viewing the current entries. So I did one that was just collage, and so basically it takes a bit of time for this page to load, but it'll load all of the entries you'll be able to just scroll down and see all the images on one page. And of course it's not loading properly at the moment. And then for each image you can just click on the image and it'll take you to that particular entry. So sometimes that's just a different way of looking at things, and it might might jog your memory of ones that you wanted to go back and have another look at or review. So there's the collage option under alternative views, and I'm just building a locations map as well. So that will just show, this one will end up being on the public website just for interest, to show where all the entries have actually come from. So they're just automatically going onto a map, so people will be able to see where the entries actually came from. So I'm just, if you can think of, there might be some view that you as a selector would like to see, I'm certainly open to that, and if you want to call me or send me an email, I can try and accommodate that for you. But that's all for now. Thank you for your participation in this event. That's very exciting thing for Alice Springs to be holding.